The Flogging album, Speed of Darkness, was released in 2011 and produced by Ryan Hewitt. So I got my shirt that I got when I saw him live in 2008 on tonight. I couldn't find it when I did the live CD review last week, but I found it this week. This album, I remember getting it when it came out. At the time, I wasn't really listening to this band a lot. I was listening to more like the Byrds and the stuff that I was getting into at the time, and I've kind of moved on from the stuff that I listened to a lot, like when I was in high school. Wasn't the biggest fan of this album when it first came out. I feel like I just thought it sounded too commercial production-wise. I'm still not the biggest fan of the production of it. I don't know. I think that on Within a Mile of Home, they started trying to sound a little more commercial, and then I feel like Float is a little more step in that direction. It's trying to sound a little commercial, and then here they take that kind of another step further. Something about the production and the way it is, it just seems like it's meant to kind of smooth out their sound. The guitar and stuff's a little more prominent. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's just that a lot of the other instruments to me and the way this is produced, they kind of just blend together into this mush sound. Like on their early albums like Swagger and Drunken Lullabies, they might have been a little less like, I don't know, clean and polished sounding than this. But you could pick out like every instrument on its own and kind of just listen to them here. A lot of it just kind of blends together, and especially like the accordion and the banjo, which I really like, and they're just kind of all sound like they just get lost in the kind of mush of the sound of the production. And also, like, I'm not sure if this is a thing or not, but I feel like they tried to maybe downplay Dave King's accent on a few of the songs. Like, he doesn't really sound like his normal self on some of the songs. Like he's almost trying to sing it with a little bit less of an accent, which I'm not sure if that's the thing or not, but that just kind of sounds like that to me. So the first song, Speed of Darkness, I think it's a strong opening track and a strong title track. This is one of the ones I was into even when I wasn't really that into the album when I first got it. I always liked this song. The guitar's kind of more prominent, and I feel like, than it was on earlier albums. Like I said, isn't a bad thing, but it's just kind of different for them. The second song, Revolution, I think is another good one, and it's kind of continues what I've been saying about their albums, whereas they always seem to open with just a really strong 1-2 song combo. Yeah, this early on was one of my favorites, both these first two. The third song, Heart of the Sun, is one of the kind of slower ones, I guess. It took me a little bit to get into, but even by this time I kind of like slower songs. This one still just took me a while to get into, and it kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a almost sea shanty sounding song. The fourth song, Don't Shut Us Down, I like this song, but I'm not crazy about the production on the vocals of it. It just sounds like, it's mainly during like the verses. I don't really know how to describe it, but it sounds weird. The fifth song, Powers Out, this one I used to not really like that much at all, and I can't really remember why, but now it's kind of a standout track to me, and I like it quite a bit. Sixth song, Sail On, or So Sail On, a slower one, and this one I actually do remember liking back when I used to listen to it. I think it has a good melody to it, and I think that it kind of, well, I'm not crazy about the production of the vocals on any of the vocals on this album. I think he sounds a little bit more like he used to on here, and I think it's a good vocal by Dave on here. The seventh song, Saints and Sinners, this one has a little bit more like audible accordion, I feel like, and this is one song on the album I wasn't really that crazy about. I feel like it almost sounds like an attempt at like a single. Like, I don't even know if singles are still a thing, or even if they were like around this time, but it feels like that kind of song, which is probably why I don't like, because I don't tend to like songs that are like the hits. The eighth song, Present State of Grace, kind of another slower one, and I can't really remember what I used to think about it. Now I like it quite a bit. The ninth song, The Cradle of Humankind. This one I used to not like because it's kind of long. It's like 5 minutes long. It's like, I think it's the longest song on the album. But now it's another one that's grown on me. 10th song, Oliver Boy. This one I definitely remember not liking back then, but now I like it quite a bit. It's another one that's kind of guitar heavy, I think. The 11th track, A Prayer, for me in silence. I can't read my own handwriting. This one actually has the fiddle player Bridget Reagan gets lead vocal, and I think she sounds good. I think it's cool to give the other band members a chance to sing different songs and stuff. So that's another cool one. And then the 12th and final track, Rise Up. I think it's actually a really strong closing song. I don't know if it's my favorite on the album. I think it's up there. I can't really quite pick a favorite from this album yet, honestly. I think I need to give it a few more listens. But this one, as a closer, always does kind of stay with me. Every time I listen to the album, I find it kind of stuck in my head afterwards, which doesn't usually happen with closing tracks for me. Like usually, it's like I don't know, one of the earlier songs that gets stuck in my head. So Speed of Darkness, it's not my favorite album by them. I think that's mainly down to the production. I think the songs are still really strong. I think that the production just like kind of mushes the instruments together too much, and the accordion needs to be louder. That's my main takeaway from this, is that the accordion needs to be louder in the mix. So yeah, Speed of Darkness, good, but the accordion needs to be louder.